Good Thursday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. We have made it to Thursday evening. Days left to go. That is obviously the great day of Friday. We only have so far. We only let's see. We have 473 subscribers. Right now we are 17 away. 27 away for our goal of hitting 500 subscribers. If you have not subscribed, make sure you do so. And we are 27 away from hitting our goal of 500. Also, we're only 2 away from hitting a short-term goal, or a short little milestone of 475. So let's go on and get there. The poll is going up in the chat right now. Pretty much, it's just asking how much rain do you think you have seen today? That's the answers should be going in now. All right, there we go, right there. So I think the options are no rain, 0, well, pretty much 1/100 of an inch all the way to around 1/10 of an inch. And then you also have 1/10 of an inch to 1/2 an inch. Okay, there we go, right there. And then 1 inch as well, or well over an inch as well. So, but that's what's going on there. We're gonna go on and get started and talk with the recorded audience for the people who can unfortunately not be here tonight. Good Thursday evening, South Carolina Weather Watchers. Hopefully you want to set a fantastic Thursday. I'm your meteorologist, Jess Peterson, and let's go on and talk about the weather for your Thursday evening going into your future. Now, looking at the radar right now, we do have some rainfall going on up to here inside of Greenville, Simpsonville going into Newberry, Greenwood going into Union. Pretty sure I already said Union, but going into other places up here inside the upstate, going into Rock Hill, Winnsboro as well, and overall, maybe over here near Allendale and over here near St. Matthews and Greeleyville as well. But that's pretty much it in terms of precipitation, maybe even over in the PD region as well. Going into the entire United States, you can see that we do have some rainfall going on from North Carolina, Virginia, over towards Illinois, Missouri, as well as Oklahoma and Texas, getting some severe weather as well. We also do have some tornado warnings up for places in Texas as well. We do have some tornado warnings over here inside of Texas, as obviously storms are going through there now. How like how bad are the storms over there right now? Overall, they're bringing like 60-mile-per-hour winds. Maybe there's even one over here that's bringing 70 miles per hour. That's over here near Big Spring, Texas. There's under a tornado warning right now. And then rainfall going on up here inside of the Rockies as well, going to the Four Corners region up there into Montana as well. Going into your cloud cover, the entire state is covered with cloud cover right now. And that's not a surprise. We talked about that cloud cover this morning and how it's going to slowly move its way through. And as we go in and push this forward, looking at cloud cover for tonight, as we go through tonight, that cloud cover will pretty much move its way out. By the time we get into, this is tomorrow morning right here, it's going to move its way out, but it's going to quickly be taken back over by some more cloud cover. And this is tomorrow afternoon right here. You can see that cloud cover is still, it's not as widespread, but it is still there. So we're not quite done with cloud cover yet. Current temperatures right now, 73 in Walterboro, 73 in Summerville, as well as 75 in Charleston, 73 in Georgetown, as well as 73 in Myrtle Beach, 70 inside of Conway, as well as 70 in St. Matthews, 70 inside of Columbia, 68 in Newberry, as well as 68 in Camden, 70 in Bishopville. We also do have 60 inside of Edgefield, 64 in Anderson, as well as 66, that is, inside of Donald, South Carolina, and Greenwood. 64 up there in Greenville, and 66 up there in Spartanburg, and even 68 up there near Gaffney in New York. Low temperatures for tonight, 62 in Greenville, 63 inside of Spartanburg, 63 in Anderson, as well as 64 in Greenwood, 64 in Newberry, as well as 67 in Columbia, 67 in Orangeburg, 65 inside of Walterboro, as well as 68 in Charleston, 68 in Georgetown, as well as 69 in Myrtle Beach, 66 in Kingstree, and 67 inside of Florence and Dillon as well. Going into your rainfall for tonight, overall, a quarter of an inch to a half an inch at the minimum for pretty much almost everyone throughout the state. Maybe, well, at least a tenth of an inch, honestly. So from around a tenth of an inch to a quarter of an inch, that's the minimum for everyone as we go through 8 p.m. tonight into 8 p.m. tomorrow night. That's, Greenville, Spartanburg, Rock Hill, Anderson, Lawrence, Greenwood, Columbia. All of these regions have a chance for a quarter of an inch to a half an inch, and then even a half an inch to an inch for places like Cheraw, going into Sumter, Florence, Charleston, Walterboro, going into Georgetown, Myrtle Beach as well as Barnwell up there in Aiken. And then we have an inch to an inch and a half for Moncks Corner, Camden, and Hilton Head Island as well. So overall, those hotspot areas is where we're going to see the most amount of rainfall potentially. Again, obviously it's not going to be exact. We're not perfect, but that's just the regions that could potentially, somewhere inside that region, someone will probably get around an inch and a half-ish. Going into severe weather. Starting off, we had a slight risk of severe weather. We got upgraded, obviously, kind of like later or earlier today, like after I did my forecast update, so that marginal risk was still there, but they have not released an update or anything like that, so the slight risk is still there for 15% risk of damaging winds, 5% chance of damaging hail for everybody pretty much, and then a 2% chance of tornadoes for the entire low country going to Aiken and the southern Midlands as well. But overall, it's not really much besides just most likely just the wind threat. And this is something that I've been talking about. I got this correct yesterday or last night. If you do not recall, I said that I would not be surprised if we saw the slight risk extend all the way to the coast, and that's exactly what they did. Slight risk extends all the way from Greenville, Spartanburg, down towards the coastal regions, and this is for a 15% chance of damaging winds, obviously. There is a chance for damaging hail, but it's for mainly the inland low country going to the inland PD region, and then all the way up towards Greenville, Spartanburg, and where that marginal risk is. There's that 5% chance of damaging wind and hail as well. So the coastal regions won't really have that much of a hail threat as much as the inland regions. And then the tornado threat is also there. There is a 2% chance of an isolated tornado or two to pop off from Rock Hill going to Columbia, Aiken, Florence, and Myrtle Beach going to Charleston and Hilton Head Island. And again, just an isolated tornado, nothing really that we have to worry about there. And then past that, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else for day 3. I mean, we do have a little thunderstorm risk for Saturday. But overall, nothing severe right now. Let's go on and look at excessive rainfall, starting off, obviously, tonight. We do have a marginal risk of excessive rainfall that still is going on for Hilton Head Island, going to Charleston, Somerville, going into Conway, Myrtle Beach, Florence as well, and going to Marion and Dillon as well. So, I mean, we still have some regions out here that might still receive some minor flooding as we go from now until around 12 o'clock in the morning tonight. And then tomorrow, you can see that there's not really any threat of any sort of minor flooding tomorrow. As we go into Saturday, nothing for Saturday, Sunday, or Monday either. So we are pretty much good in terms of excessive rainfall for the next 5 days once we get past, obviously, tonight. Let's go on now and look at our models. So we're going to go on and look at that now. Time is in the top right corner of your screen. Make sure you go on and look at that. We're going to go over here. Starting off at 9 o'clock p.m., you can see the rainfall activity that's going on. That will continue, and it will move into the low country and the PD regions and the Grand Strand region by the time you get to around 12 to 1 o'clock in the morning. Then once you get to around 2 o'clock in the morning, I mean, you're seeing some heavy rainfall that goes all the way from pretty much the eastern low country coastline all the way down towards the kind of lower low country of South Carolina. And then once you get to around 5 to 6 a.m., that's really when all of that stuff's going to move offshore. And then early morning, you're not seeing any sort of precipitation, even as you go into early afternoon tomorrow as well. You're not really seeing much. It's at 1 p.m. Again, obviously a severe weather threat tomorrow, but that's later in the day. If you go on and look at this right here, going into around 2, 3, 4 p.m. as well, You can definitely see the little squall line that's moving through, and that will obviously bring that damaging wind threat with gusts from 60 to potentially 70 miles per hour. That's going to move through, and it's going to, make its appearance for sure, going through, obviously, major places like Columbia, going through down towards Florence, and then going down towards Myrtle Beach as well. Right now, it's really looking like that's where it's going to head. But again, you cannot take these models as gospel because will not be exact. This was last updated at 3 p.m. anyway. We'll have more of an understanding of what the thing will do by the time we get to around tomorrow morning. So we'll talk about that then. As we continue this forward, though, once that pushes off, so that's going to push off around like tomorrow evening around 8, 9 p.m., there's going to be some rainfall behind it. Will it be, as bad as the first line that moved through? Absolutely not. But it's just going to be just some sprinkle activity pretty much. And then after that, we dry out. We pretty much dry out all the way into Saturday. And pretty much from around 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, early Saturday morning, it's going to be dry. It's going to be dry, and that's what we expect as we go into this weekend. It will be dry this weekend for the most part. Let's go on and look at the models for the future. So we're going to go even further, around 300 to 400 hours out, and you can see exactly what I was talking about, just this weekend being dry overall. And then as you go into around June the 2nd and June the 3rd, going into around June the 4th and the 5th as well. Overall, just not really seeing too much, not really as active as we've been looking at it for the past couple of days. Once you get to around June the 7th and the 8th, that's when things could start to kick back up. And you see this little thing right here. I'm not going to really go into depth too much about this because obviously this is, almost 300 hours out, so this might be gone by tomorrow. But it shows a little tropical disturbance, if not, weakening tropical storm going up all the way into South Carolina. Now, again, too far out. I'm not going to say too much on this, except for just that's something that if it keeps on showing up consistently, that might be something that we have to watch. And obviously, hurricane season starts on the 1st. They have not said anything on it yet that I know of. Even if you go on and check right here, yes, no tropical cyclone activity is expected during the next 7 days. So obviously, they're not really paying attention. They're paying attention to it, but they're not really too concerned about it. So that's it there. As we continue further into the future, overall, high pressure takes over right after that disturbance right there. But we can't really talk too much on it because it's way too far out. So that's it there. Let's go on and look at the crazy score. So we are right now at a score of 58. Obviously strong storms, heavy rain, wind, minor flooding. That's all inside the question, or all inside of the equation as we move into tonight. And I can agree with that. Obviously, a severe threat seems to be going down a little bit, but that threat will probably still be there. And again, they haven't updated or anything yet, so we can't really say anything except for go off of what they have, and also just the minor flooding threat. And so that's it in terms of the minor flooding threat. Let's go on now, and the crazy score. Let's go on now and talk with the audience. If you want to be a part of the audience, you can by joining us at 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. Let's see what the audience has to say for tonight. Mr. Oliver says, good evening, lots of rain at my house. Can't wait to hear about the drought update. We'll talk about that in a second. My cousin Cheryl says, good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? A bit cloudy here in Philly, but I'm at work listening to my favorite meteorologist. Love you, Cheryl. Thank you so much for that message as well, and glad that I'm part of your nightly routine at work. Trail says, hi, just hello to you, and then like button, everyone, please. I'm going to go in and pin that real quick so everyone knows. We have 5 people watching right now, but we've had 14 people tune in. Why do we only have 4 likes? At least 10 people have tuned in and have not hit the like button at all. Make sure that you go in and do so. It's free, and it helps me out. It helps spread the channel out to more people, and so why wouldn't you? Let's look at the drought monitor, though. So here we go, Thursday, May the 29th today, and you can see that the drought has now pretty much moved eastward and straightened out a lot west. Look at the upstate. The upstate, no more drought inside the upstate, pretty much, as everyone up there in the upstate is in the none category right now. The only areas that we are still watching for a drought is over here inside of the PD region, the Grand Strand region going into the eastern low country. So Berkeley County going into Charleston County. That's still a little bit of an issue, especially right there where Georgetown County, as well as Charleston and Berkeley, kind of meet with each other. And then Horry County as well still has a drought as well, a D2 drought. And then that D1 goes from eastern Charleston County, Berkeley going into southern Williamsburg, or eastern Williamsburg going into Marion County as well. And then the drought that was occurring in western Charleston County, Dorchester County going to Orangeburg, Clarendon going into Florence, and Darlington has since pretty much deceased, as it is now just abnormally dry. So the drought is receding. And so that's a good thing. So let's go on and give a round of applause real quick. So that is a good thing right there. But we still have some more stuff to get rid of. Over there inside of the Georgetown, Horry County going into Marion County, and then also Williamsburg, Berkeley, and eastern Charleston as well. So we still have some stuff to kind of get out of here. But overall, it's looking a lot better. I mean, if you go back and look at the drought monitor from a couple of weeks ago, it looks completely different and just way better now than it did, obviously, a couple of weeks ago. But that's it there. Let's go on now and talk about our 3 areas outside of South Carolina, that being San Antonio, Raleigh, and Philadelphia. These forecasts only take around 2 minutes tops. It's not, nothing really time consuming too much. Just say the forecast and get up and get out pretty much. But starting off with San Antonio first, low temperatures tonight 76, high temperatures tomorrow at 90, low temperatures tomorrow night at 72. Slight chance of thunderstorms tonight and tomorrow. There's a chance of thunderstorms tomorrow during the day. There also is a slight chance of thunderstorms tomorrow night as well, so you definitely still have to watch for that. Going into excessive rainfall first, there is a slight risk of excessive rainfall for tonight. So make sure that you're watching for some scattered flash flooding. And then past that, that's pretty much it in terms of excessive rainfall. So nothing else really going on there. Severe weather-wise, you do have a slight risk of severe weather for tonight. That is for a 2% chance of tornadoes, a 15% risk of damaging winds, and also a 5% chance for some hail. So overall, the wind being the main threat. And that's it pretty much in terms of severe weather. As we go on into Raleigh, our next location, low temperatures tonight 66, high temperatures tomorrow at 81, low temperatures tomorrow night at 58. Showers are likely tonight. Thunderstorms are also likely tomorrow, and then tomorrow night thunderstorms are expected as you go into, obviously, tomorrow night. And so that's pretty much going to be for pretty much everybody from North Carolina going to South Carolina, as there is a marginal risk of severe weather for tonight. That's for wind and hail. 5% chance of damaging winds and hail. Tomorrow, there is a slight risk. That's a 15% risk of damaging wind and hail, and also a 2% risk of tornadoes tomorrow as well. And then as you go into Saturday as well, marginal risk of severe weather, a 5% chance of seeing severe weather overall. Excessive rainfall, there is a marginal risk for tonight, and that's it. So some minor flooding tonight. And then the final location being Philadelphia, low temperatures tonight 63, high temperatures tomorrow 78, low temperatures tomorrow night at 59, a chance of showers tonight. There will be some patchy fog tonight and tomorrow morning as well, as showers are expected tomorrow during the day, and a chance of showers tomorrow night as well. A marginal risk of severe weather is in effect for Saturday, as there is a 5% chance overall of seeing some severe weather. And now that that is all out of the way, as I believe, I didn't talk about excessive rainfall. Let me go up there real quick and pull that up real quick. Starting off tonight, pretty much going through, you do have a slight risk of excessive rainfall for tomorrow, for Friday. Scattered flash flooding will be inside the equation tomorrow. And then past that, that's it, pretty much it. So just tomorrow. So our final thing we talk about before we go on and get out of here for tonight, what's going on throughout the entire United States weather news-wise. Severe thunderstorms will bring a threat of damaging winds, large hail, and a couple of tornadoes to portions of the southeast and the mid-Atlantic on Friday. And heavy rain may lead to instances of flash flooding from eastern Kentucky to southern New York. Meanwhile, dangerous heat will develop in the west with potentially record-breaking temperatures as well. So pretty much, we do have Got a lot of stuff going on, from record-breaking heat going on in the west, and then also some instances of flash flooding from southern New York going into eastern Kentucky, as well going into the Maryland area, going to Virginia as well. Also, some fog expected tonight. Or is that fog? Is that air? No, it's an air quality alert over there inside of Wisconsin, UP, Michigan, and Minnesota, and then that's pretty much it. So that's pretty much what's going on throughout the entire United States. One more thing I do want to say though before I get out of here for tonight, if you know anybody inside of the South Dakota, Minnesota, and Nebraska regions, let them know. Severe weather could potentially be coming for them on Monday, and then from Kansas into Oklahoma through Oklahoma City as well on Tuesday as well. If you know anybody inside those regions, let them know. Severe weather could be coming for them on Tuesday, and that's pretty much it there. And let me check out the chat one more time. Dad says, good evening, Joseph. I hope all is well. All is well. Thank you so much for asking. And then my aunt Lula says, good evening, nephew. How are you? I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. Glad to see you here tonight. And that's pretty much it. So I did ask a question inside the chat. I said, how much rain do you think you have seen today? And overall, 56% says tenth of an inch to a half an inch, and 44% says over an inch. 44% says over an inch, and I can be a part of the 44% that said over an inch. At my house today, we got 1.57 inches of rainfall today. That did actually issue a flood advisory for the areas, Somerville, Latson areas as well. Earlier today from around 2 o'clock to around 4 p.m. as well. So I don't know if anybody has any flood pictures or anything like that, but if you do want to send them, you can send them to me at scweather360@gmail.com. Any weather pics, you can see right there at the bottom of the screen. Perfect timing. Send weather pics to scweather360@gmail.com, and I will show them here on the live stream. And if I have not seen it, please leave me a message inside of the chat, live chat, comments, anything like that, to say to check your email, and I sure will get it there. But that's pretty much it. I will be back tomorrow morning with your Friday morning forecast update, the final Friday of the month of May. And then we'll be into Saturday, which is the last day of May in general. And then we'll be into June on Sunday and hurricane season as well. A lot of things going on Sunday evening as well. Make sure that you're there Sunday evening when we're talking about hurricane season, summer, the month of June, and then the first week of June as well.